Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead video for today, leading up to the return for The Walking Dead Season 9, which is next Sunday night with its mid-season premiere. We now have the opening minutes. Link will be in the description. If you haven't seen them, definitely got to check them out. Gonna give my thoughts first in this video on those. Very cool. Oh man, yeah, dude. So definitely check out the link in the description if you guys haven't seen the opening first few minutes there for The Walking Dead Season 9's mid-season premiere. It looks so cool, man. So spoiler warning, as usual, we get Jesus. Of course, we know that he's dead, right? He's not coming back. So for anybody who had any kind of doubts or thought that they could do a dumpster situation or something, no, he's dead. He's just simply dead, and that's it. You can see him here, but they're able to kind of take him out with them as they kind of leave the graveyard's little courtyard there with the gate. So they're able to kind of get through the gate, and there are a couple of whisper kills in here. I think there's one that Daryl seems to kill because of the way it moves. You can kind of tell, right? And there's kind of like the flapping. Sometimes their masks, it looks like they kind of come out a little bit. So they don't always stay in their, inside their clothes, so you can kind of tell that it's a whisper. And then there's the other one that we saw pictures of that charges Michonne, or it was in the promo for the second half. It's like a female one, and it's got like a kind of kamikaze style against Michonne. So Yumiko takes down that one, which is pretty cool. And you've got Michonne killing just random walkers and some of them in there too. I think there's one that goes Kang against her. So I'm not sure. There's some whispers in there. You can watch it through for yourself and try to figure out for yourself how many whisper kills there are there exactly. But that makes for quite a few here, right? That makes for, in this encounter, several whispers have been killed at this time. So Alpha definitely will not be pleased about this. Basically, the group has gone in after Jesus and after the others, and it looks like our survivors pretty much got the best of them, and they even had the jump on them because really they took down Jesus, which, okay, granted, that's a big, that's a lead character, that's a lead of a community, so they got him, but in the process, they lost several of their own, and of course, I mean, they probably don't care much about their numbers as far as walkers go. They can add walkers to their horde or to their herds as often as they like. There's going to be walkers in and around, and they can get them to kind of start following with the others and kind of get them into a pack and everything like that. So you can replace them, but replacing whispers isn't so easy. So it looks like our survivors are off to a good start, losing Jesus, but taking down several of the whispers in that exchange. So it's very scary. I like the theme of it all, and they've kind of alluded to this in interviews where they're kind of going for sort of a horror-based theme with the whispers. Is going to be different from any group they've run into before, maybe most similar to Terminus or to the Hunters, but it just looks really great, right? It looks really awesome. So love the mask and everything. It looks like they take the mask with them, and does not look like they capture Lydia in this part, so that'll probably happen later on, and we'll just have to see how many whispers there are, how many members of the survivors are going to be able to fight against the whispers, and how this whole thing will go through. But it looks like an awesome theme to get started with this half, really dark, and you got like lightning or whatever, the light going off, and it's just got a really cool theme that is new for The Walking Dead, a very horror-based theme that is even more kind of horror-based than The Walking Dead usually is. So I love the opening minutes. It looks great. And, I'm excited for the season, man. I'm excited for the back half of this season because recently there's been a lot of other series that are getting ready to wrap up. Of course, if you guys have been watching the channel, Z Nation's over now. Gotham is ending really soon. They just have a few episodes left. Of that season will be over in like a month or two, and then it'll be done. And then Game of Thrones will have its last year this year with I think it's six episodes starting in April. Don't quote me on it, but something like that. So anyway, you've got 3 other series that personally I've been watching all the way through every episode pretty much since they started. I maybe missed a couple episodes of Z Nation because it's what it is, but Walking Dead still going strong, man. And that's one of the big things with this year. Like a lot of us were questioning with the whole Rick leaving and stuff. We're asking, like, okay, so is it over? So are they going to kill Rick off? Is it going to end? What are they going to do? Because you have all these other shows that are ending. ending now because they've gone on for so many years, but The Walking Dead just marching on strong. So even if there are a good number of viewers that maybe are not watching anymore, not as many as used to, still though, it's continuing, and that's great to see, and I hope The Walking Dead does continue on for many more years to come, and I think that the look of this start to this half looks awesome, so I can't wait to see it. Kang era Daryl, which I like I like the name, right? Kang era Daryl, that's cool because it's like a new version, right, of him. That's cool. Lydia could be a great supporting character for Daryl now that he's a protagonist. Remember that Aaron teased that Daryl would be a great dad. That will be the show remix for Lydia. It just fits for Daryl and Lydia to create a connection since they were both abused in their childhoods. Also, Daryl had history of not being able to protect his kids, or he goes here for Sophia, so he's saying Sophia, Beth, and then Carl. I guess you could say Surrey, they're not his actual biological. Maybe with Lydia he can fix that. So that's true. That's something I hadn't thought about, that maybe it could be Daryl could develop some kind of, first it'll be confrontational, of course, because they're on opposing sides, but maybe over time he could develop some kind of a fatherly relationship for her. And I would like to see that. That could be cool. And I never thought about that it could kind of maybe parallel or remind him of Beth in a lot of ways, because it's true that her age is probably pretty close for Lydia to where Beth was at. I forget, was she supposed to be 16 in the show? Something of the sort like that, like at the early seasons. So their ages would be pretty close, and it may remind him of Beth quite a bit. And of course, he was the one who carried her out, right? So and even with him saying Kang era Daryl, Daryl's always been there, right? It's just that the roster was more maybe crowded, or the roster had more characters. Obviously, you had Rick there, and you had Glenn, and you had the others that got their time. But he was the one that carried her out. He was the one that put down Dale, right? The whole sorry brother, and then he basically, Rick couldn't do it. So Daryl was the one to do it. So he's always been there, man. And it's just that now, some of these other spots have left or have opened up, and he still happens to be there. So that's a cool kind of point. I didn't think of it that way, but maybe we will see something like that between Lydia and Daryl here. Dan's Review says, Trev, do you think later on the Whispers, maybe in season 10 and 11, will be better than they were in the comics? And then he gets into some kind of spoiler stuff for the comics of what happens in their comic book version of their story arc, later parts in the story. And then he says, love your videos. Thanks, man. So yeah, the Whispers in the TV series, I think, will be a lot different. I'm interested to see how many seasons they use the Whispers for, because if you look at it, they really just started. So you can say the first half of season 9 was only a little bit of the Whispers. It was just like the very start. It feels like they're on upon us now, so we can kind of count this as maybe around the start date of the Whispers, in the same kind of way that the season 6 finale was a start date for Negan, even though that was more drawn out because you had Dwight and you had the others mixed in there as well too. But so if Negan and the Saviors got 2 full years of the show, they got all of season 7, all of season 8, and then they got part of the second half of season 6, then how many seasons do we think the Whispers will get? Well, they're starting off now, so that'll be a half by the time this year is over, and then all of season 10. It sounds weird to say season 10, because it's double digits now. It's like, what? They really been good 10 years? 10? Really? It's like, yeah, man. So I don't know about season 11 for the Whispers. Maybe it'll be this half, season 10. Maybe you do the first half of season 11 with them and wrap it up. But the pacing so far has been really fast-paced. So maybe they'll go through. I don't know if they have, again, people were kind of complaining that the Savior's story arc lasted 2 full years. So will they want to go 2 full years with the Whispers? Maybe 1.5, maybe 2, but I don't know. It's kind of tricky to say. Are the Whispers more intriguing than the Saviors were? Are they less? We'll have to see. Maybe 1.5 years makes the most sense. Even though it is kind of burning through it too fast. You have the war, so I don't know. Let me know. You guys leave a comment below. How many years do you think the Whisper story arc will last? And yes, I think that the second part of their story arc should be much better than it was in the comics, because really it wasn't that great in the comics. Good introduction, though. Andy the Cool trolls and says, do people still watch The Walking Dead? So, jerk face. So yes, we do. We do still watch The Walking Dead. I still love The Walking Dead. I know a lot of you guys still love The Walking Dead. There aren't as many of us as there were before. But let's get past that and let's just enjoy the series. And let's just appreciate that it's still there with so many of these other series that are ending now after these years, right? And kind of the internet and streaming and everything taking over, and video games even more expansive than they were, when The Walking Dead started, 10 years ago or 9 years ago at this point. God, it's 2019 now. So yes, we do still watch it, and we're hoping to watch it for many more years to come. Frank Harris says, Daryl and Henry are the new Rick and Carl. Daryl, and he calls them Henny. So we'll see, man. That's true. Isn't it so weird? Here's a crazy thought. Andrew Groziosa says, Tara shouldn't die. She's basically one of our only OG characters left in the show. Now, just think about this for a second. Tara survived longer than Carl and Rick. At least in the main series. Rick will be in the movie, so he's not technically dead, but he's not going to be in the series anymore. She's been in the series now. She's gone on past, even though she didn't come in the beginning, but she's survived on past. A couple years ago, nobody would have predicted that. Like the start of season 8, can you imagine anybody who came out and said, I predict that Tara is going to survive longer than Carl and Rick? We all would have slapped him. We all would have just like, the comment would have gotten so many downvotes that had been removed. You'd be like, that's like the worst prediction ever. And it turned out to be, that's what we see, man. That's what we see. So we'll see. Henry and Daryl, maybe. I don't know. C. Kinchman says, all them whisperers have the same long, lightish hair. Wouldn't fool me by the way they look. So, I don't know. I don't know if they all do have super long hair. A lot of them look like it. Yeah, you're kind of right that a lot of them, their hair is longer and they kind of look like Slipknot or something. It's true for the most part. But we'll see. We'll probably see some different looking whisperers as we go on through. And also, having longer hair probably helps maybe protect their looks so that other walkers don't kind of see them as well. So maybe it helps with the camouflage a little bit. Copy and Funnels says, was there ever a Trevstan 1? Yes, there was a Trevstan 1 and a 3, but they both didn't work. They both failed, so Trevstan 2 worked. So that's what we're doing. So nowadays, YouTube doesn't care. You can pretty much do whatever you want. They don't care. But they used to reject channels for partnership so that you could upload longer videos. So you couldn't upload videos past 10 minutes, which you guys know for me, I always do, right? So yeah, they used to kind of have it under lock. It was different before. So yes, 1 and 3 failed. 2 failed at first and then came back to it later, and it worked, and it was okay. So that's where we're at. So if at first you don't succeed, try again. Steve Von Doom says, Dog is going to become the new lead. So Talk to Dad says, nobody can surpass Rick. It's just not meant to be that way. It feels so forced. So, yeah. I mean, but it is possible. Well, okay, we know that Daryl's going to pass him an episode count number in the amount of appearances in an episode. But will he eventually pass him in screen time? And that's going to be crazy, because I haven't compared screen time. I don't know how far ahead Rick is for screen time. I would think he would be, but eventually, if he goes on a couple more years, Daryl will pass him in screen time. So that'll be crazy to see. It's like, kind of like a switch, but, it's either that, they continue on this way, or what? They end the series or not at all? And then the last one will be from PGA Spellacy, who says, Trev, have you considered doing a video on T-Dog's top 10 most badass moments? Just, there's not much to talk about when you start getting ridiculous, stupid comments like this. Okay, let's wrap it up for today. Check out the first few minutes of the episode. Definitely watch the premiere next Sunday, guys. And let's get excited. Let's get going for another season of The Walking Dead, another start to the back half of this one. And just really happy that the series is even continuing on at this point. I think we should all be happy that they're still going. That's it for this one. See you guys again soon for another video. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.